Where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's a fire, there's a cause.
The holes could be a result of somebody using a flammable.
Long after the firefighting stops, the hunt for answers continues.
Okay, so he's saying that the liquid didn't actually make contact with the floor.
FIB, Baltimore, Maryland's Fire Investigation Bureau. Human bloodhounds with a nose for arson and a vow to uncover the truth.
Something happened other than what the occupant is telling us.
The hunters of FIB, when it comes to tracking down a fire, every day is open season. Arson, a fire that has been set intentionally. In 1996, almost 2 million fires were reported in America. Nearly 100,000 fires and over 500 deaths were attributed to arson. In Baltimore, 50% of the investigated fires are classified as arson. The members of FIB, the Fire Investigation Bureau, make the call.
I like the Fire Investigation Bureau. I like the work. I enjoy it. It's different than being in a company. The glory's gone. You don't rescue the people. You don't run into the burning buildings and put the fire out. But now you're into something that's challenging, because when nobody else can figure out what caused this fire, that's your job.
I've had investigations where I've really had to put all my skills, shall we say, to work, because it's the arsonist against us. And if the arsonist is smarter than we are, I can't take that. I have to beat the arsonist.
You have to go in there and dig through the rubble and take piece by piece out, or maybe even reconstruct the scene and figure out how it started and why it started. And there's a challenge to each fire.
A stone's throw from the Baltimore skyline, FIB's 8 investigators are headquartered upstairs at Old Town Fire Station. For 30 years, Captain John Griffith has been on staff working one of 2 daily shifts. Each shift is covered by a 2-man rotation. One investigator takes the west side of town, the other the east. A fire call designates whether an incident is a 1, 2, or 3 alarm fire. A 1 alarm fire sends 4 engines, 2 trucks, and a battalion chief. For each additional alarm, 2 more engines and a truck are sent. Even a 1 alarm fire can merit a call to FIB if the firefighters on the scene feel the circumstances are unusual. An explosion in the basement of a family home is one such case.
Fire Investigation Bureau, Captain Griffith.
I was out shopping. My fiance, my 4 children were in the house at the time. I come down the street. I seen the fire truck, so I came around the other way. I noticed my front door open. I just parked my car up at the corner and just ran down here. My fiance and everybody's over on the other side. Nobody's hurt. We're just missing a dog. That's about it.
FIB 9 responding 15-minute ETA.
Got a woman on a sidewalk across the street from the fire building complaining she needs an ambulance. Check it out.
Something went boom.
In my career, I would say that I've always been very lucky to determine the cause of every fire. I won't leave until I'm absolutely sure, and I won't give up until I'm absolutely sure.
Does anyone know what caused it? What happened?
That's going to be something investigators going to have to check out, and I guess they could answer you better once they get here.
A small basement fire down here, John. 51 engines down there, first in.
Okay.
Guy just moved in. That's why everything's to the rear. They just moved all the boxes in and everything. They were working in there, putting the stuff together. I'll walk down there with you.
All right. Got 5 beers here. All right, guy. This is ruptured. Has an odor of flammable liquid stripper. That's a stripper, which is highly flammable. This was ruptured as a result of the fire. We have something here. It may be a battery.
The female occupant, she's across the street. They're getting ready to remove her by a medic unit.
Okay.
And she said she was down here using some spray paint. If you want to talk to her before she gets out of here.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I'll go up and talk to her right now. Who's in charge down here?
Me.
Leave everything as it is.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I have a pretty good idea what happened, but I always like to hear it from the occupant. Can you tell me what was going on down there?
I was cleaning the kitchen table off to feed my kids dinner, and I was taking the stuff that we had bought. It was paint that you put on a cabinet and stripper that you have to take the old paint off with.
Yes, ma'am.
I took it downstairs, and I had his Jeep battery. It's a them little power Jeeps that the kids ride around
Little
on.
red battery?
With the 2 red batteries together, and I dropped the battery, and the paint can exploded. And it went all over me, and I put my head down, but it was burning my eyes.
The paint can or the stripper?
The paint. It was burning my eyes. So I went upstairs, and I wiped my face off real fast. And then Sarah hollered, "Mommy, fire!" And she took 2 steps up. I grabbed her, and I drug her the rest of the way up.
Okay.
And I grabbed the other 3 kids and this dog, and the other dog was in the backyard.
Right. And you say when you dropped the battery in a can of paint? What, a large
Spray
can?
paint.
Spray
Just
paint?
a can of spray paint.
Or you dropped it on the can?
I don't know. I didn't even turn around to look because I turned my face when the paint started spraying. I got it on me anyway.
Okay. You don't want to go to the hospital?
No, I just want to stay with my family.
Okay. She doesn't want to go to the hospital. Okay. I heard the story. We listen to what they say and then we form our own opinion. A lot of times they'll tell you something that didn't really happen. So then we have to come up with our own opinion as what really happened. The occupant, the paint actually blew onto her body, her face and arms. It's possible that she came down and was trying to put the fire out, and the cans blew, and that's what sprayed the paint on her. Usually, a battery dropped on a paint can will not cause a fire. Parents try to protect the children. If they feel that the children may have caused the fire, they'll try to take the blame for them. The woman seems like she's pretty truthful. I don't think we have a intentionally set fire, but I think maybe something happened other than what the occupant is telling us at this time. Usually people, when they have a fire, they think they're going to be blamed, and a lot of times they think we're going to make them pay for putting the fire out. which is not so. Did you talk to the lady, the occupant? What did she tell you that?
Said that one of the children was downstairs.
Right.
The little girl, Sarah.
5 years old?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I'm the owner.
Oh, you? Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Carr, we had a fire in the basement.
Yes, sir.
And your fiance is telling us that she dropped a battery, a red battery, on a can of spray paint. And it blew up, but that doesn't make sense to us.
Okay.
We did find a can of stripper, but that had exploded. We feel that the large red battery falling on a spray can won't cause a fire. Now, a little child was down there by the name of Sarah Carr?
Yeah, that's my daughter.
She was down there by herself. We might want to talk to her later after everything settles down. Have you had any trouble with her playing with matches?
No, sir. She knows not to touch a lighter, matches. We don't even have matches in the house.
All right, but the thing that bothers me is she was down there by herself, and maybe she can tell us. So if you would talk to the little girl and see what you can do.
Okay.
For your fiance. All right. And nobody's going to get in trouble. It was accidental.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I know everybody's upset now.
Yes, sir.
And we want to make sure everybody's okay. And our people will check your fiance out.
All right.
Well, you don't believe the first story because we get some weird stories like lightning coming in through the window and birds carrying cigarettes in through the door and things like that. So you listen very politely, but then you have to form your own opinion.
But before an investigator's opinion can go into an FIB report, it must be substantiated by hard evidence. A few days later, Captain Griffith returns to the scene to continue his fact-finding. This time, the occupant mentions problems with the water boiler, a detail that led Griff to re-examine and conclude that the boiler ignited the paint fumes and caused the fire. At 1:30 a.m., Engine 13 gets called to a chic, multi-unit building in West Baltimore. There's a fire in the top-floor apartment burning fiercely in a closet. Engine 6 also responds. So does John Griffith.
Good morning. We have a fire in the closet, it looks like. Complete burnout. So all the shelving is gone. There's no electrical wiring. On the door, we see the level of burning from here up to the top of the door. The door indicates that it was open due to the inside frame being burned. Usually when the door is closed, this would have been protected. Also, the height of the fire indicates about 3 feet off the floor, traveling upwards. But we'll talk to the occupants and see what they have to say. Good morning. I'm Captain Griffith. I'm going to be investigating. You lived in the third floor?
Yes, we both did.
All right, what happened up there, sir? Do you know?
I was in the bedroom. He was in this front room here, and all I know is he come running down saying, "The closet's on fire. Grab water."
Yeah.
And we tried it 2 or 3 times to do that, and that was it.
Okay. So you were trying to put the fire out.
Yeah, and it was out, and it came.
Okay.
It's like there were a bunch of plastic CDs and stuff on the bottom and milk crates, and it flamed back up, and that's.
Where'd you see the fire? On the floor or up high?
It had just started catching the clothes that were hanging up.
Yeah. Okay. At 3 feet from the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there were CDs and like all this plastic stuff stacked up about that high.
Okay. What happened? Is this, sir? What happened in that closet? Do you have any idea?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I think it was a lamp.
The lamp?
But I'm not for sure.
It's a light that's in the closet.
Oh, you had a light hanging?
That's the only thing that we can think of.
What was it? Like a hanging light in the closet?
It's just a light.
A light?
I don't know if it was up on a shelf or...
It was on the floor.
It was on the floor? That it would, the lamp with the chain on it? The kind you hang, is that the kind it was?
It was a floor lamp.
Just a floor lamp?
A small one.
Okay. And what happened? It ignited something in the closet?
Mm-hmm.
It set something on fire in the closet?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm just guessing it was that. I went to turn it on, and it didn't turn on, so I went in the kitchen to get a light bulb. And when I came back in, I saw the flames.
Around the lamp?
No, they were in the closet, up on the clothes.
All right. Do you smoke?
No.
All right. How about you, sir?
I do smoke.
But you weren't anywhere near the closet. Did you use a candle or anything?
No.
Looking for the item?
No.
Were you looking for something? Okay. So we listen. I listen very respectfully, but then I have to go in and do my thing. And I can usually prove that they're false by just going in looking at the fire. That's what I like to do first. I like to go in and investigate the fire to determine where it started and what could have caused it. The occupant of the apartment that was involved in the fire was able to identify the lamp that he said was in the closet. And as I look at the lamp, it doesn't show any signs of having caused the fire. No burning inside the cover. The wiring is intact. Even the plug that goes into the receptacle shows no signs of any malfunction. Usually when a light bulb causes a fire, it will stay in contact with combustible material for hours and hours before it actually ignites the material. And usually there's some material sticking to the light bulb. In this case, there's no material and no severe burning of the cover. So I would, at this time, rule out the lamp having caused that fire. I don't believe we have a intentionally set fire, but I'll take another look. Usually in closet fire, it's usually caused by children playing with matches or a person using a candle at waist high looking for an item. This is burned deeper and less as we go back towards the back of the closet, indicating that possibly the fire started towards the front of the closet. So at this time, I would have to disagree with what the occupants are saying as to the cause of the fire. So I figured that possibly someone was in that closet looking for something with a candle, a cigarette lighter, caught the clothing on fire. They both individuals said they tried to extinguish the fire. We have this quite a bit. People will try to put the fire out before they call the fire department. They're afraid that they're going to get blamed for it. So once we assure them that nothing's going to happen, then they usually come out and tell us. I went back, and the one individual said, yeah, he thinks maybe his partner was in there looking for something with a cigarette lighter.
The fire was ruled an accident. No charges were brought.
This is why I treated this fire, as I do every fire, very seriously. There's no fire too small that I don't give 100%.
For 25 years, Captain Mike Mrazinski was a firefighter on the front line assigned to some of the busiest fire stations in Baltimore. After 13 years as a captain, he decided to join FIB.
Engine 26.
Investigator candidates must be a fire department captain for at least 10 years before they can make the switch to FIB. Extensive classroom study at the Fire Academy complements intensive on-the-job training with a senior investigator. Mike Mrzinski was mentored by Captain Griffith. Sunday, 4 a.m., Baltimore, Maryland. The first engines respond to a call at the Woodland Apartments, an unoccupied complex in the middle of a residential neighborhood. Within minutes, the rapidly spreading blaze requires a 3-alarm turnout.
Okay, buddy. Hot? See the fire? Yeah.
The flames are dangerously close to breaching the gap between buildings and engulfing the adjacent units. As the firefighters struggle to dominate the flames, Captain Mike Mrzinski of the Fire Investigation Bureau begins his long night's work. First, he consults Battalion Chief Brady, who was on the fire ground with the first alarm response. Chief Brady shares his own assessment of the fire's origin based on smoke trails and other indicators. The chief believes the fire started in several places within one building.
See if we can get a hand line. We'll get up this roof here and get over here. We're gonna hit it from the other roof? Yeah, let's stretch up on top here, right? We want to get a line up here. See if we can get a line from somebody, whatever engine company's back here.
Judging from the way it looked when it first pulled up, it looks like the fire started actually on the opposite end of the building. The whole roof structure and wooden top parts already burnt off on that part. And according to the chief, it spread from that point over to here. Hopefully we'll be able to get into this group of buildings before they get into such condition as we won't be able to go in.
Investigators say their work is often lonely. Theirs is the only job on the front line where the person works on his own. Weaving through the bustling teams of firefighters, Mike Mrzinski studies the fire from the areas of least burning to the areas of most burning, looking for the fire's point of origin. The firefighters want to stop the fire with water or by demolition if necessary. But Mrzinski's job is somewhat at odds with the firefighters because too much water may wash away evidence, such as the presence of flammables, and pulling down a ceiling may bury evidence forever.
The way this one looks, we're going to have trouble investigating this one again because right now it looks like the second floor of this building here has fallen into the first floor. And looking at the front walls, I can see some structural cracks in it. So the condition of the building is in question at this time. Have to look at the side of it and see how the side walls are, see if we have any structural problems on the side.
The second floor has already fallen onto the first floor, but the decorative front walls are unstable and likely to crumble at any time. It's a race to gather evidence before the building collapses. Three hours later, it's daybreak at the Woodland Apartments. The fire destroys 13 homes before succumbing to the firefighters' watery onslaught. Mike Mrzinski reevaluates the progress of the fire with the battalion chief.
The way it burned looked like it started down in here and went up right into the roof. By the time we got a ladder pipe in, it was through the second roof because it was down to this area when we got here.
That's what 25 said. It's right in that area there.
So that means half hour, 45 minutes of burn to get down there on a small fire.
Mike Mrzinski now enters the building, picks his way through the blue-lit rubble, and stumbles upon a clue that indicates a flammable might have been used.
Whoa! There's a big hole in the floor. Holes in first floors lead us to be suspect that maybe a flammable could have been used. Because as you know, fire likes to burn up. It only goes down as a last resort.
The burn pattern here, the way it is possible that somebody dumped a flammable in here. because the joists in this room are completely burned through. And as I always said, fire tries to go up. This fire is burnt from there and then went down. And then this area in here is also burnt the joist. So it could have been from a pour pattern. And then it follows a route going out the door, where if somebody's going to set a fire, they're going to dump it and pour it towards a door, and after they get outside, set it.
Other resources are required to solve a fire of this magnitude.
Somebody dumped it there. Look the way the floor is burnt underneath the other range.
Yep.
It could have emptied out right in that point.
As Mike Mrzinski scans the fire ground, he spots what may be another clue.
Well, there's a can. Get a picture of that too. It's laying on top of it, see it? See, I have no odor with it.
No, it doesn't seem to have anything.
No.
Since the trial of O.J. Simpson, collecting evidence has advanced to a near art form for many government agencies, including FIB. Sterile aluminum cans protect potential evidence until it is examined in the police lab.
And what we're interested in is in tongue and groove floors, a lot of time the liquid will run in between the two different grooves of the wood and be trapped there and leave a residue that's enough that can be picked up under analysis. And we see this is the tongue and groove floor, and underneath here, which is this stuff here, is your subflooring. And where we like to get with the subflooring too is where the two pieces join each other. And that should do us as far as samples go. And we'll get out of this building, let them finish putting out the small fires in here.
Evidence must be maintained in a verifiable chain of custody from the time it is secured on the scene to the moment it arrives at the lab for testing and analysis.
You know, modern science is helping us. They have come a long way in different machines and gas chromatographs that can detect if flammable liquids were used. So as science improves and machines improve, so will our ability to find cause the fire.
This is the evidence that was submitted from the fire that occurred on the 25th of May. It's sealed with evidence tape, so we know it hasn't been tampered with from the time of submission to the time of my getting it. Having initially examined the evidence, next going to attempt to collect any kind of flammable liquid residues that will be present in the burned wood. That's going to be accomplished by taking the can that contains the evidence, placing it on a hot plate, raising the temperature inside the can to 100 degrees centigrade so that any liquids present will be put in their vapor states. This device here, which contains a charcoal tube and a connector, goes inside of the can. Then it's hooked up to a vacuum so that all of the vapors that are collected inside will then be forced through this tube. We'll allow this to heat for 20 minutes, and then we will draw a vacuum on it for another 20 minutes. Now I'll inject just a small couple microliters of sample into the gas chromatograph. A couple microliters is much less than a drop of water that you would have from a leaky faucet. So it does not take much. The sensitivity of this instrument does not take much to get a result. The computer's database has in it standard chromatograms of several different flammable liquids. We're going to pull up gasoline chromatogram, standard gas,
and a kerosene standard to compare with our evidence. From this, we know that the evidence sample does not contain either gasoline or kerosene. Therefore, this would be a negative sample. It would have no flammable liquid residues identified in this sample.
But my feeling still is the same, that an accelerant was used on that fire due to the fact of the total burning, the area that was the walkway where the joist was completely gone. It was just a matter that the samples we took, the amount of flammable liquid that was used could have been burnt up, could have been totally absorbed. The amount of water thrown on whatever was left could have been diluted and run off into the basement. But as far as that fire is concerned, that fire was still intentionally set, and it is my opinion that it was used with a flammable liquid that was used to set it.
Police have no suspects in this case. All they can do is wait for the arsonist to tell someone or to start another fire. Some researchers report a strong relationship between a full moon and an increased rate in calls to emergency services. One of the most recent studies, however, shows no change, but you'd have a hard time convincing John Griffith. There's a full moon this busy Saturday night in Baltimore.
The full moon theory, in my 30 years of investigating fires, I always look at the office window and see a full moon. I say, uh-oh, we're going to be busy tonight. And sure enough, we'll be running all night on that full moon. I'm not a scientist, but I know that it affects people, especially pyromaniacs. A pyromaniac is a person who doesn't need a motive, who just sets fires, and any little thing, they might see the full moon and say, oh, this is a good excuse. I'm going to set a fire. But believe me, it's true.
In the early hours of the morning, strobing lights from a fire department engine illuminate a side street in Baltimore's crowded nightclub district. Captain John Griffith has been called to a popular watering hole, but not for a drink.
When I arrived on the scene, the fire department was still there, and I was directed into the coffee bar. And once inside, I was directed by the officer in charge of the fire unit to the restroom.
Employees tell Captain Griffith they saw smoke seeping under the restroom door. The door had been locked. When forced open, they discovered a fire. Examining the burnt debris, Captain Griffith finds no sign of cigarette butts or any other accidental cause. A police officer questions the last person seen leaving the lavatory before the fire. Captain Griffith watches as a medic searches the suspect's pockets and finds a handful of matchbooks. Based on his conclusive evidence, Captain Griffith tells the officer to charge the woman with attempted arson. The fire was set, and she was the only person in the room, and even a smoke-filled room can cause a catastrophe. People panic in smoke. They become disoriented and can't find their way out of even a small building. They can't breathe, and toxic smoke invades their lungs. So for Captain Griffith, there is no such thing as an insignificant fire.
One match can cause a whole row of dwellings to burn, can cause multiple deaths, injuries, innocent people. So I'm representing them. I'm out there, I'm their side. I'm out there to find that perpetrator, and I won't give up until I find.
On a steamy May afternoon, fire erupts as two men renovate a historic row house. It quickly evolves into a 3-alarm fire. The FIB investigator responds as fast as the firefighters to gather information, even as the blaze is in progress.
I want to talk to you a second. All right, I understand you were in there working at the time? Yes, John and I were.
Captain Reggie Session is a Baltimore native and an ex-Marine. A former fire academy teacher, he transferred to FIB 3 years ago.
And what's your name, sir?
Tim Casey.
While most houses in Baltimore have firewalls that extend above the roof, The ones in this building end at the ceiling of the top floor, providing a perfect pathway for the fire to infiltrate the homes next door.
We had a generator, light bulb broke, and I put another light bulb in, and that dropped, and you heard a boom.
Okay.
Then a couple seconds later on, you heard a boom.
Okay.
And then there was fire all over us, all over me, and I was in the stairwell, and I was going up, coming over the junk, and Johnny pulled me on out.
Okay, you were in the stairwell leading to the second floor?
Yes, sir.
And he wants to get the ceilings down in the white and the blue house.
Yeah, we'll start with this one first.
Right.
How you doing?
Gas can flipped over.
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you clean that up?
We didn't. I mean, it was just a little spill. I mean, just for a second, boom, and that
How
was
much
it.
of it would you say little spill?
Little spill, just
Okay.
something.
Just enough to puddle?
Yeah, not even that much.
Okay, where was that inside the room?
Near the stairs.
Near the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was what, how many hours ago?
3-4 hours ago.
3-4 hours ago. A ceiling light or a lamp light?
No, it was a spotlight.
Spotlight?
Spotlight.
Okay, and when that dropped, what happened?
You heard a boom.
Okay.
And then you heard a boom.
There were two booms?
Yeah, two booms.
In what area? Were they the same area, the light bulb?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what?
And then then there was fire around me, and then and there was fire around me, and then I was in the stairs coming up, and I couldn't go over there, and Johnny grabbed me, and he pulled me up. And you heard another boom, and then I looked behind me, and right around here is where you saw the fire.
Okay. Right around here?
Yeah.
All right, you gonna be around for a while?
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Do me a favor. Right in this area right here. I want to clean that out down to the floor if you can. And I need one guy for axe. Put a hole right in that floor for me. Just enough for the water to drain out.
A hole acts as a drain in the floor so Captain Session can inspect the area where the workmen said a falling light bulb ignited the spilt gas.
Once we determine the cause, then we call in police arson. They will come in and do all the questioning of the suspects, and they will do all the arrests because we have no powers of arrest. And we will work very closely with police arson as they question the suspects.
Detective Chick Horney is a member of the Police Criminal Investigation Bureau, Arson and Bomb Unit.
The guy, Casey, gave me one story about a gas spilling earlier, but that was 3-4 hours ago. Vapor should have dissipated by then. Supposedly he dropped a drop light bulb, and he heard boom, boom, and then he saw fire. I don't know what's in the bulb that would cause boom, boom. I don't think gas vapors from 4 hours ago would still be that prevalent. Okay.
Do you know if the doors and windows were open when they were working in the house?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm gonna go back and talk to him. Right now, and I've got the area of origin, but the actual point of origin, I don't have nailed down yet. Got him cleaning the floor. I don't know how much of the upper floors were intact. And I have some heavy charring alligating in this area, some over here, and actually floorboards missing. But it's hard to say whether they were missing before. If they did, then that air would help feed that fire and cause it to burn a little hotter at that point and get that heavy charring. But right now, I don't have any true leads as far as I'm concerned about where the actual point of origin is. And I'm hoping I can get something off the floor for that.
So when they get everything done, we can get the overhaul done and maybe take a closer look at it then?
That's what I'm doing now.
Try to see how much gas was poured or whatever. They might have not spilled more gas than they're saying that they spilled.
That could be true too. All right, that could have been. We just found the gas can that was laying right in there. It may have been. We're going to check and see.
The empty gas can is discovered in the area where the workman said he left it, but the area itself shows little sign of burning. Captain Session returns to the front wall. 10 feet away from where he suspects the fire originated, beneath inches of debris, he finds a severely charred mattress, the strongest sign yet that this is the area where the fire may have begun.
All right, set it down. Again, I'm looking for a low point of burn.
and I'm trying to see if there was supposed to be gasoline spilled. I'm looking for gasoline spills, and there was a gas can found in that area. There is some heavy charring in there. There's a semi-low burn over there, but it's not consistent with the overhead damage.
The closer the captain looks at the physical evidence, the more it seems to contradict the witness's story.
Why would all this side still have the paint and the wood on it? And he spilled it out here.
You know, it's possible, man, when that fire hit that stairwell like that, man, it just had the effect like a fireplace and just start rolling.
Yeah, but it would have been on the top side, not the bottom side. Unless he tells me...
Unless it started lower, down here.
Unless there were openings in them, it still would have burnt up the outside surface, the top side. It would have went, like you said, right, like a chimney. But it would have been, you wouldn't have had any of this clean brown, then have it severely charred like that on the bottom. And then if there were treads missing, yeah, you know, maybe he's not telling us the truth about where and how much he spilled.
Oh, we'll just have to bring him in here.
The witness, who is also the son of the house owner, is brought onto the scene to clarify his story.
How much gas was spilled here?
It spilled over just for about a second, and then picked it back up, and that was it. The ground.
The floor?
Yeah.
And where was the gasoline can at?
Right here.
Okay. Did you try to wipe it up?
No.
No?
No. Just on the floor.
Where was Johnny at when it was that?
Johnny was on the top floor carrying this.
How'd Johnny get out?
Johnny, I was right here. Johnny pulled me up, and then we both jumped out the back window right there.
Okay. Well, when you looked up there, or when you was going up the steps, what was the last thing you saw?
I didn't look. I just kept running.
Did you feel any heat?
No, I did not. I didn't think I did.
The time when Johnny was pulling you up the steps, where would you say you saw the bulk of the fire at? The flames themselves.
You gotta try to think, man, because it's very important, because where you're saying the gasoline was spilled, we don't have any evidence of any fire there. That's why it's important for you to remember.
Okay. Right here. Right here. Right here.
What was there?
There was, I was coming through here, I saw like a little flame here, boom. I saw.
So now you see the flame over here?
No, I didn't see it over here.
How could you see it if it was behind you?
I mean, I was just going just like this, and I heard the second boom. Then I guess I glanced, and then I saw a flash, and then Johnny, fire, and then I couldn't come up, and then Johnny came down and grabbed me up the stairs.
You smoke?
No.
Did your brother smoke?
No. I mean, Johnny guy was with me? Yeah, Johnny does smoke, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I don't smoke.
Is Johnny smoking today? Let me explain something to you, man. I'm from the police department. I'm from the Arson unit. Until we can make a determination, you know, we're going to treat this like a criminal offense, okay?
No, go ahead.
So it's important that you try to remember, because what you're, listen to me now, what you're saying about the gasoline being spilled is not consistent with this fire.
More contradictory evidence surfaces. The workman's colleague tells Captain Session that gas had been spilled on the stairs, not below them. But the captain wonders if the evidence proves it.
There was a mattress over there, and that mattress right in that area did show the hottest charring that I saw up here. The bottom side of the mattress, even all of that was down, charred all the way down to the bottom of that, down to like maybe 4 inches of the floor where some other debris started, you know. So I agree that may have been surface burn over there going down. But this right here, I can't see it burning from the top down. And if you look right here, where the liquid would have run down, you still got brown wood. I mean, even if the liquid went down, the vapors would have burned. And I can't say I got down there and none of this is burned.
All right. You can always leave it undetermined at this point. And then we'll check with the mother and see what the status is on the insurance, finances and stuff.
As Captain Session continues his investigation that day, he makes a number of additional discoveries. Sifting through the debris on the first floor, there was absolutely no evidence of a broken light bulb, the one the worker claimed had ignited the gas. The electrical cord and generator allegedly attached to the spotlight is found outside the house, clean of soot and in perfect condition. Based on physical evidence, Captain Session establishes the basement stairs as the point of the origin of the fire. The heavy, rapid burning is indicative of an accelerant, and samples are sent to the lab for analysis. This incident will be reviewed by the district attorney. The United States has the highest arson rate in the world. In 1996, arson accounted for $1.5 billion in property losses, $11 million worth in Baltimore alone. And while the number of arson-caused fires has declined slightly nationwide, the number of arson deaths has risen 33%. In the past 12 months, FIB has investigated over 1,200 fires. 720 of them, nearly 60%, were set intentionally. Out of those cases in Baltimore, 99 arrests were made based on the findings of Captains John Griffith, Mike Mrzinski, Reggie Session, and their colleagues. And with over 3 suspicious fires breaking out daily in Baltimore, there is no respite in sight for these determined hunters as they pursue their relentless search for the truth behind every blaze.
Coming up, climb aboard engine number 13 as firemen take on the streets of fire on Discovery Signature. Then rediscover America with David Hartman, the Alaska Highway on Discovery Sunday. All coming up. Explore your world.